Welcome back to DekuNews.net. I'm Jeremiah the Deku Scrub. We've got some breaking news to get to. Zach, I heard that some great news has come out of Zora's domain, so what is going on over in the frozen tundra?
Well, as you can tell by my voice, I'm obviously very excited about this. The lake on Zora's domain has been thawed. Surprisingly, the hero Link has returned. He has saved Princess Ruto from the supposed water temple beneath the ocean, and he managed to thaw the entire Zora's domain. I find it very courageous of him. I myself can personally never... You know what? Let's not get into that.
Thank you for that, Zach. Zora's domain has been thawed, and the reemergence of Link is something that nobody around here was expecting, let alone the fact that this little Kokiri boy has grown into a young adult. He appears to be roughly 17 years old. For more, let's go to Bob. Bob, do you think this kid's really a Kokiri, or was he possibly a Hylian disguised as a Kokiri when he was a child?
Actually, as I'm thinking here, let's just say that we learned some shocking news from the Deku Sprout in Kokiri Village. We learned that Link was never a Kokiri to begin with. Link was actually a Hylian, which is what Mido was trying to tell us 7 years ago. Yes, so Link was a lot taller than he usually is, and he had the traditional pointy ears of a Hylian. He also carried some magical sword that, I don't know, it glowed. It was cool. There was also, he met in the grounds somewhere with some girl. No, not girl. I want to say she's a girl because she reminds me of someone, but I don't know who. Anyway, some guy named Sheik. I think he was mentioned earlier. But, yeah, him.
Bob, do we have any information on who this Sheik person is?
Not really. All we really know is that he's a Sheikah. That's it. That's basically all we know. And he's good at fighting, like Link. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Bob. We've got one more story for today. We are going to head back up to Greg, probably for the last time. He wanted to retire after this story was finished. Greg, what has happened involving the dragon that was terrorizing your people and ate your mother?
Well, as you can see behind me, there is no more dragon. And he's all gone. That little, or I guess he's little compared to me, Link, he showed up and he beat the dragon to death. It don't exist anymore. It died a painful death after lots of stuff happened. So yeah, that was basically it. I'm also catching weird sights of an owl that keeps repeating everything it says, even though I don't want it to. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Greg. We hope you enjoy your retirement and eating rocks from Dodongo's Cavern. That's all for this episode of DekuNews.net. We've got no more stories. We'll be back here again next time with some more stories. We're again mostly following Link's journey as he seems to be pivotal in the history of this war that has now been waging for 7 years. Hopefully we can get him on to interview him sometime. Let's now go to Jimothy Johnson with our Loreumentary.
Hyrule has a deep and rich history. But Hyrule is not the only land on this earth, on this world. The land of Termina lies far away through a dark forest, and the people there are just as real as you and I. Here is their story, told by one of their own.
It is the dawn of Link's first day in Termina, and the moon is falling. Preparations for the Carnival of Time are underway. Carpenters frantically hammer at scaffolding, Entertainers of the Gorman troupe practice in the streets, and posters have been pasted onto the town's walls announcing the upcoming performance of the Indie-Go-Go's, the famous Zora band, on the eve of the carnival, 3 days from now. This carnival will not happen. The moon will fall, and on the night of the third day, the world will end.
This is the story of Anju and Kafei.
A young boy, his face hidden behind a yellow mask, emerges from the laundry pool into the South Clocktown Square and deposits something in the postbox there. Hours later, the postman picks up this letter and delivers it to the Stockpot Inn's receptionist, a woman named Anju. It's from her fiancé, a man named Kafei, though for some time now, he has been missing. The couple were set to be married during the carnival, as is tradition in Clocktown, but now there are no signs of Kafei, save for this mysterious letter. If Link visits Madame Aroma, the wife of the town's mayor, he can agree to play detective and find the missing Kafei, her son, thus beginning a tale that shows the true might of Link's ability to rewind time back to the dawn of the first day, and how the choices he makes during these 3 days drastically alter the course of these people's lives.
This is the legendary hero of time, a boy whose entire life was ripped away from him, as he was sent back to live his childhood once again.
This is a love story at the end of the world. By wearing the Kafei mask given to him by Madame Aroma, Link can ask the townsfolk for information about the man's whereabouts. The man in the shooting gallery says he knows Kafei, but that he hasn't been there recently, and the treasure chest shop girl gives the same answer. One of the carpenters threatens Link, demanding that he doesn't find Kafei, so that he can have his dear Anju all to himself. The mayor's office receptionist believes that Kafei has broken off his engagement to Anju, and thinks that maybe he doesn't want to be found. The curiosity shop owner gives a suspicious answer, before quickly asking Link to leave, and the bombers point Link towards the laundry pool in the southwest corner of Clocktown. The bombers are correct, as the masked child leaves the laundry pool at dawn on the first day, delivering a letter addressed to Anju. It's delivered by the postman later that day, though he refuses to tell her who it's from, or even from which postbox it was collected.
The postman's dedication to his schedule and his work overrides his entire life, until he is paralyzed by fear at the thought of breaking his schedule.
Link can choose to speak to Anju wearing the Kafei mask, and she'll tell him to meet her later that night in the kitchen, claiming to have a clue to his whereabouts. But if Link doesn't talk to her wearing this mask, or doesn't meet her in the kitchen, she'll continue the investigation on her own. On the second day, as thunder rolls across the sky, as rain patters onto the stone streets of Clocktown, and as the moon draws ever closer, Anju will make her way to the laundry pool, presumably having heard the same rumors as Link about the sightings of Kafei. Here, she'll ask any passers-by about her lost lover, explaining that it's been a month since she last saw him, and wondering if it's her fault he left. Alone, she weeps in the rain, confused and heartbroken. Later that night, Link can use a broken wall to eavesdrop on a conversation between Anju and her mother. Her mother plans to flee Clocktown for Romani Ranch, fearing for their lives. She believes that Kafei might have run away there to be with Cremia, the owner of the ranch and Anju's best friend, but asks Anju that, if this is true, she thinks about Cremia, who would need the strength of a partner and the business support of the mayor's wife to run her ranch. She says that if Kafei really has abandoned her for Cremia, Anju shouldn't be sad, that she'd only have been miserable with a man like that. If Link talks to Anju's mother while wearing the Kafei mask, she'll scold Link for wearing it, showing just how much she dislikes him for what she thinks he's done. But by this point, Link has already had the opportunity to discover that this isn't true. Behind a curtain in the mayor's office, in a room adjacent to the one where Kafei's mother sits, Link can discover Kafei's diary, revealing how excited he was for their wedding, and that he planned to visit the milk bar to show off his ceremonial wedding mask and talk about his fiancée with his friends. Whatever has happened to Kafei isn't as simple as Anju's mother believes. His disappearance wasn't because of another woman. Anju doesn't believe her mother, saying that in the letter, Kafei promised he would come back. But with the moon looming above, Anju relents and agrees to flee the next evening. And this is what they do. Anju, her mother, and her grandmother take refuge at Romani Ranch on the final night, but they don't find Kafei there. Instead, there is only Cremia and her younger sister Romani. Anju's family face the apocalypse together, with Anju broken, regretting her choice to flee, but knowing that now it's too late.
This is just one ending of many, due to Link's power to travel back in time.
Without Link's involvement, Anju's story is a tragedy, but Link did arrive in Termina. He is the master of this land's 3 final days, able to reset time and live them over and over again. He can learn the last actions of these characters and work out how to help them.
Link is the hero of time, the child who always chose everyone else over himself.
On the first day, Link can choose to meet Anju in the Stockpot Inn's kitchen at night, where she'll tell him her plan. She's written a letter back to Kafei, which Link needs to deposit in a postbox. Then, by following the postman on his delivery rounds, he can meet her missing lover and solve the mystery of his disappearance. Posting Anju's letter on the morning of the second day changes the postman's schedule. He now has something to collect and deliver. This means he does not post a letter to himself that night, and instead heads out on a normal delivery route in the afternoon. Link can follow him to the laundry pool, where he'll deliver the letter to the masked child, the one who originally sent the letter to Anju. While the pair are speaking, Link can sneak into the side door nearby, which is usually locked. This leads into the back of the curiosity shop, and in this secret hideout, the masked child will reveal his identity. He is Kafei, Anju's betrothed. Sometime before Link's arrival in Termina, he had been cursed by the Skull Kid and trapped in the body of a child. He immediately decided to visit the Great Fairy in North Clocktown, but on the way was attacked by a thief who stole his sun mask, a traditional item he intended to give Anju at their wedding. Kafei has been hiding in the back of the curiosity shop, knowing that it is a place where stolen goods are fenced. Certain that his mask will eventually show up, he uses a secret peephole to observe the customers in the shop. Too embarrassed to face his partner without his promised mask, Kafei gives Link his pendant to give to Anju. The pendant means something to Anju, and it's enough proof for her to change her mind and decide to stay in Clocktown for the Carnival of Time. If Link then eavesdrops on her conversation on the second night, it won't have changed. She'll still agree to flee to Romani Ranch on the final day. But this is a lie. At the end of the third day, Link can find Anju's mother and grandmother at Romani Ranch, but not Anju herself. Her mother informs Link that Anju decided to stay and wait for Kafei in Clocktown, and that it is foolish to trust a man like that. Link can find Anju in Clocktown, like her mother said, sitting in her room on the bed, waiting. And if Link delivered the pendant to Anju but did not help Kafei recover his stolen mask, then this is how Anju's life ends. She sits here, patiently waiting next to a wedding dress she will never wear, alone. This doesn't have to happen. On the first night, an old lady enters North Clocktown carrying a bag of bombs. She's the mother of the owner of the bomb shop and is delivering a shipment of stock to the family store. Before she can reach the shop, however, she's robbed by Sakon, the very same thief who had stolen Kafei's sun mask a month ago. Link can choose to intervene. However, Link can also choose to allow Sakon to get away with it, either by standing by as he robs her, or by just not being present in North Clocktown on the first night at all. This results in the thief arriving at the curiosity shop on the second night to sell his ill-gotten goods. Kafei, of course, watches the thief sell the bombs through his peephole, which lets him peer through the eyes of a suit of iron knuckle armor in the back of the store. He recognizes the man from when he was robbed, and so decides to follow him back to his hideout and recover his mask. In the afternoon on the final day, Link can return to Kafei's hideout in the back of the shop to find him gone, and the owner standing in his place. He explains that Sakon lives in Ikana village, and tells Link that Kafei chased after him, leaving behind his mask, the Keaton mask, and a letter addressed to his mother, marked as priority mail. To help Kafei, Link needs to travel to Ikana Valley at 6 PM on the final day. Here, he'll find the child hiding out near a secret cave entrance, Sakon's hideout. With only hours until the moon falls, Link and Kafei can storm the thief's lair together, manipulating a series of switches and defeating the enemies within to circumvent Sakon's security measures. By working together and completing the hideout before the mask reaches the end of the conveyor belt, the two children are able to recover the sun's mask, the final piece of this puzzle. Kafei thanks Link and makes his journey back to Clocktown, where he finds nobody. If Link has completed every part of the quest, but did not give the Pendant of Memories to Anju, Kafei will return to find that she's fled with her family to Romani Ranch. He stands there, alone, blaming himself, staring at Anju's wedding dress. But if Link has helped Kafei recover the sun's mask, and also given Anju the pendant that causes her to stay, the couple finally reunites. With less than 2 hours until the world ends, Kafei finally reaches the Stockpot Inn and enters the room where Anju waits for him. Without asking why Kafei is now a child, Anju recognizes and accepts him. She drops to his level, and the couple finally embrace. They bring together their sun and moon masks, creating a couple's mask, which they give to Link as their witness. Anju and Kafei are united, and tell Link to find refuge, to flee, and that they will remain to face their end together. Unless, if Link has already beaten the game's 4 temples, this does not have to be their end. At the end of his very first cycle in Termina, the Skull Kid had taunted him about the moon. If it's something that can be stopped, then stop it. Now, standing on the precipice of oblivion, Link answers. He plays the Oath to Order. The notes of this ancient song echo across the land, and the 4 giants answer their call. With divine strength, they catch the falling moon, giving Link just enough time to enter the dreamlike space within it and destroy the terrible power sealed in the Skull Kid's mask, Majora itself. Link has used his control of time to prevent Termina's end, and after the moon disintegrates, a new day dawns. No longer bound to the same cycle, the same patterns of anguish and despair, the people of Termina awaken to a world where time is once again their own. It is the dawn of Link's 4th day in Termina, and the moon is gone. The Carnival of Time begins. Fireworks pepper the sky above Clocktown, and its residents celebrate. The Indiegogos play the Ballad of the Windfish on the Milk Bar stage. The dancers of the Gorman troupe show off their new moves, and the old lady from the bomb shop is embraced by her son. If Link has obtained the postman's hat, then the postman himself returns, shown running back, alive and happy. And finally, if Link has reunited Anju and Kafei and obtained the couple's mask, The pair are finally wed. They are oblivious to the countless cycles in which they suffered apart. The loop is broken, and the timeline continues from here, with the couple united. Anju wears her dress, and the Clocktown residents surround them, with Tingle showering them in confetti.
This is the story of Anju and Kafei, as told by Zeltik. Thank you for listening. Now to the Milk Bar.
Welcome back to the Milk Bar.
Yeah, today we got some talented artists in the room.
Well, not in the room.
Well, in the Milk Bar.
No.
Because the Milk Bar isn't a real thing. It's not a real place. It's just where we are in your imagination.
It's your figment of your imagination,
Yeah.
but we're real people.
Yes,
If
we're
that
real
make-
people.
that makes total sense.
But we're not really in the Majora's Mask Milk Bar. Spoiler alert. But we are, because we said we are. So now you think we are. See how it works? You don't see how? So we're not at... You and
Trying
I...
to give some awkward silence here.
No, don't do that. That's terrible. That's bad radio. Look, you and I aren't in the Milk Bar.
Yes.
But because we pretend that we're in the Milk Bar, the people who are listening to it, you guys, imagine us in a Milk Bar. See how it works?
Yes.
So, because of that, we can now say, Hi, Gorman. Hi, Gorman. Yeah, no, I wasn't actually talking. Okay, but it's fine. Go away. And we
Gorman,
imagined
go.
me talking to Gorman right there.
But you were.
Because I wasn't. Because Gorman isn't really there.
You're pointing at
For
a water
us.
bottle.
Exactly. That's a milk bottle. Thank you very much. It's from Lon Lon Ranch. I paid a lot of money for that.
You need rupees.
Rupees are a kind of money. They're not dollars. I didn't say dollars. I said money.
You had said
Rupees
dollars.
are a kind of money.
Stop
Because
breaking
dollars, I don't know what dollars are because I'm from Terminate right now.
Back to talented artists.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about our favorite Legend of Zelda songs, but also our favorite people who make Legend of Zelda songs
Yes.
that we listen to.
So.
Because Nintendo,
music.
for some reason, never releases the OSTs onto streaming services.
What does that mean?
OST stands for Original Soundtrack. Like, you can never...
They do on YouTube.
I know,
That's
but I don't
Charlie.
listen to music
Hi,
on
Charlie.
YouTube.
Hi, Gorman.
No, I don't listen to music on YouTube. So I listen to music on Spotify, or Amazon Music, or you do it on Apple Music.
I do on that.
And they don't listen to it, they don't put it on any of those things. You have to, like, buy it and stuff on CD, or whatever. And so, for that reason, a lot of people, a lot of great people, have made covers of Zelda songs.
And they're really, really good.
And we're going to talk about a few of them today.
Yep.
So, one of them is great. They're Game Chops. They made the...
Lo-fi.
Well, Game Chops, they make a lot of lo-fi, of a lot of different
That's
video
all
games.
I know they do.
Yeah, but they're a producer, they work with a lot of different artists. They actually produce the intro music for Milk Bar,
That is true. They
And-
did produce this.
along with
Okay.
Helynt. I do not know how to pronounce that.
Sorry.
Helynt? Helynt. I don't know.
The Lion. That's what I heard.
not what it is. So anyway, they're great. We also, of course, love Slowfi and Streaming Music Studios because they
they
promise
let
not to sue anyone.
Hopefully.
They promised. No, they said not to. They said they wouldn't. That means that if they sue us, we can sue them for suing us. Which we're not going to do because we don't like suing people. But anyway,
I like.
Slowfi Streaming Music Studios, they're great. They do a ton of different franchises, not just Zelda. But now that we've gone
do.
over the ones that we actually use, that you actually listen to,
Most of them.
during Deku Buds, which is what the podcast you're listening to right now is called, is Deku Buds.
Yes,
you should
yes,
subscribe.
yes. BUDS.
Yeah, Deku, DEKU space BUDS, sponsored by DekuNews.net.
And now, the Deku King. He has decided to sponsor us.
The Deku Kid?
The Deku King.
Oh, yeah! We have
Remember?
Link to thank for that.
Yeah. He started to sponsor us because we saved his monkey.
Well, Link did.
Yeah, Link saved his monkey. And his
Yeah.
daughter. So now, we have 2 sponsors.
Yay! But
Yeah.
really, we're sponsored by DekuNews.net because the Deku King doesn't actually do anything. He just says he's sponsoring
gives us
us.
money.
That's true.
I mean,
Let's
rupees.
tell people that. Anyway, let's dive into like our favorite Zelda artists. I think you and I are both in agreement on this one. Rozen is incredible.
Great.
He's amazing. He does orchestrations of them.
Yes.
And he does his original music that's based on Zelda themes, but he also covers themes.
Yeah, so he has like Ballads of Hyrule, and then he does it again, and he does like both of them.
He has so many though, because Ballads of Hyrule Volume 1 and 2 are covers.
Yeah.
Right? But then he has a lot of EPs about Ganondorf.
Sins of Hyrule.
Shadows.
My personal
Gerudo
favorites
King.
are Children of Termina.
Yeah.
And Time's End, because I really like Majora's
Time Once Lost is really nice too.
That's
I
what
like that
that's
album.
what
Yeah. Time Once Lost.
That's
Especially Soul Ekno Emit, which is Time Once Lost backwards.
Soul Ekno Emit.
Yeah, it took me a long time to figure out why it was called that.
I was always like, is this like Highland or something?
Yeah, no, it's just backwards.
Soul Ekno Emit.
That's a great album, also a great song.
The remastered version is better than the original because it's remastered.
Yeah, you think so?
I like it better because it's like, in my opinion, it's not as bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
But we were just listening to Rozen.
Rozen is great.
A little bit ago.
He made a 12-minute medley of a bunch of Zelda songs for a Zelda con.
Oh, on the Zelda.
And it's on all streaming services. It's great. I love it. He did a song called Saria's Elegy with this other guy. It actually has lyrics, and it's an incredible song.
He does combine a lot with Revan.
Revan
or Raven.
Revan is a great vocalist who really only works with Rozen mostly.
Yeah. She works a little bit with another one that I like it.
She doesn't necessarily sing lyrics, but she can hit every single note, it feels like.
Yes.
Yeah, she's amazing. So, Rozen.
Yes.
Rozen.
If you want to listen to Rozen,
he's great.
He's there.
Great. Super epic music. Epic.
He is very good. I love him.
Want him to do the music for the Zelda movie. I think
that would
he's
be
the
great.
Prime option.
He should work with Koji Kondo.
Him and Koji Kondo working together. That I think Rozen is probably, of all the people we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about a lot of great people.
Yes, we're going to talk about a lot of Zelda artists.
I think Rozen is probably the most qualified to take on the Zelda movie because he always does orchestration.
And it's really good.
It's fully orchestrated. It's incredible. Yeah.
Well, there is an orchestra artist that we like.
That's true, but that's a little different because that's not a composer. So let's go to them now. So Rozen is great.
Yes.
We're going to go to the next thing. The Marcus Hedges Trend Orchestra.
They do not only do Zelda.
They don't only do Zelda. And the other thing is they don't write original music. They're not. It's not a composer.
They're not like Rozen.
They're an orchestra that plays Zelda music.
And they can make it go really long too, because like earlier, listening to Majora's theme by them, and I was like, does it ever end? It was like it's like a 12-minute thing of just. I don't remember how the song goes. I was about to do the West Clocktown theme. Right?
Marcus Hedges Trend is great, especially recently, because for a while they only had Ocarina of Time done. Then they did Wind Waker, and then Majora's Mask. But then after that, they didn't do a lot. And then recently, they've dropped Twilight Princess.
They did some Echoes of Wisdom.
Some Echoes of Wisdom. They dropped Breath of the Wild.
Minecraft.
So they did Minecraft as well. They don't just do Zelda, but they're very accurate orchestral interpretations of like the Game Boy songs and the Nintendo songs and the N64 songs, and you know, Breath of the Wild is cool and all in its original soundtrack, but also it's so empty because it's just piano that it's cool to hear orchestra versions of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I like Marcus Hedges Trend, is because they're a full orchestra.
Yes, but I still don't think they might be up there. Like if Rozen can't do it, maybe then.
Well, so I'm saying like Hedges Trend, they don't.
We're not ranking these, by the way.
No, of course not. They don't compose their own music, so I don't think they would do well like doing the Zelda soundtrack because they don't write their own music. That's why I think Rozen is the best option, because he's great at taking the themes that are already there and making new music out of them. Whereas Hedges Trend, they just take songs that are already there and they play them in a new way.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing them in a new way,
Oh no.
Theophany is very similar to
Theophany.
Rozen, but with just Majora's Mask music.
Yes, and they use a lot of. I like them mostly because they do Majora's Mask music, but they use a lot of like game clips too that I noticed. Because like you'll be listening to something and
You hear Link yell.
yeah, no, it's like on the way here. I'm to our to the milk bar.
Yeah.
I was listening to it, and you like hear Skull Kid's thing, and then you hear like a nice soothing like rendition of Romani Ranch, and then you hear Link scream, and you're like, what? Because my friend randomly just goes right to the next song.
Oh yeah.
It just goes. But
yeah, Theophany is really cool. They do similar stuff to Rozen because they extend the themes really long.
they do
Kind of create some new music.
Lover's
as well.
Mask.
Yeah, that song doesn't exist in the game.
It doesn't
new
exist
stuff.
in the game.
Yeah. So anyway, Theophany is also great.
One of my personal favorite. There's some things I don't like them as much as like Rozen and Theophany and stuff, but they're pretty good. Zorio, second place.
Yeah, ZREO.
Zorio.
What's it called? Zelda Reorchestrated. That's what ZREO stands for. Zelda Reorchestrated. They are similar to Marcus Hedges Trend.
Yes.
More because they just replay the music.
Yes,
as an
but they do it
orchestra.
a little bit too like loud. Like sometimes it sounds like too 8-bit.
Oh.
Like the Ocarina of Time selection, they're just like for like the Water Temple.
Like they're
it's
playing.
Like,
they're playing really. So you're saying they're playing with a lot of staccato, like they were 8-bit still, even though they're not 8-bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, still, ZREO does a great job reorchestrating Zelda music. I think.
I think they just oh, and they work with another one. I'll say in a second. They work very well with the other one. They just recently did. It was either Midna from Twilight Princess or the Majora's Mask selection.
Yeah.
But Tim DeMann.
Yeah, Tim DeMann, he's pretty cool.
He is good. He mostly does piano stuff. Mostly Zelda also. And he is. I don't think Judah likes him as much as I do. I find him.
He's definitely not my favorite Zelda pianist, which
I
is
wouldn't
its
say
own.
he's my favorite.
It's its own genre is Zelda pianists, which we'll talk about now. So you like Tim DeMann a lot.
I do like Tim DeMann because, he mostly does piano, but like there's one song, Master Koga, by Tim DeMann. That's a good one. Comes to my mind because he's like randomly, like he has fun. Like I watched a YouTube video when I was trying to learn a song on piano. He's really good at that. It was funny because like in the middle of the song he just goes like this, yeah, just randomly in the middle of the song, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I love Daigoro789. He's pretty cool too. He does a ton of
He does
music.
too many. That's
He
why
puts
I
out
don't listen to him.
so much music.
He's like
but he plays every
flute.
song.
Piano, flute and piano, flute and piano, and flute and piano reorchestrated.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
remastered.
that's the thing about him is that he releases, like he'll release like 4 albums that have Breath of the Wild songs on them, and then he'll release a Breath of the Wild compilation album, and then he'll do 4 Tears of the Kingdom ones, and then he'll do a Tears of the Kingdom compilation, and then he'll do one of the best Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom one, and then he'll do one of all of the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom ones. So he's got a lot of the same songs over and over again on his thing, but he's good at what he does.
Yes.
He plays upright piano. It's pretty. It's a nice. It's different from a lot of the other artists you hear that play really nice grand pianos, because he's playing his little upright piano, which gives it a different sound.
Yes, and I think we have time for maybe 2 more, because I
Yeah.
have 2 more. Majorlink.
Major
We
Link.
talked about him a lot.
Yeah, so he's a
He is-
YouTuber, but
I think
he puts his music on
He's really good.
streaming services.
I like him because he's very like chill,
Yeah,
mostly, except for Hyrule Castle and Gandalf's thing.
yeah, yeah.
So, but
for
like
what he does-
Keaton's Quiz, Clocktown. That's my favorite rendition of Clocktown.
Lostwood's Soft,
Yes.
incredible. Yeah, so he plays the piano, but he also uses some strings, and percussion sometimes. All right, our last one.
Enrico Magnifico.
Really, I don't listen to him very much. Him and Franco Albertini are both
Oh, yeah.
are both like they're there, but I don't listen to them.
Yep.
Very much.
So
They're also pianists. They're also great.
and
You should also listen to them.
Enrico does some orchestrated stuff too.
Yeah, I'll probably actually be playing their music in the background, like at the milk bar, like with their milk bar jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the jukebox, or they're here with us today, right? They're playing for us while we talk about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think
So
they're coming later.
that's maybe. I think that I'm pretty sure they've been playing on the stage while we've been talking, actually. So
that's who that was.
this has been the Deku Buds podcast, sponsored by DekuNews.net. Thanks for listening.